Hey guys, tonight we journey into the afterlife, ancient Egypt style. You're not in your room anymore. You're drifting through a hall lit by golden fire, towering columns carved with endless hieroglyphs stretching up into starless shadows. The air smells like frankincense and, well, old linen. A line of souls shuffles ahead of you. Some look human, others vaguely frog-shaped. You glance down at your own translucent hands. Yep, you're dead, but not buried yet. And if you mess this up, you're not getting that sweet, eternal retirement package. Oh, and just a heads up, you probably won't survive this. Statistically speaking, most ancient Egyptians didn't exactly pass their soul-weighing exams. But we'll get to that. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. But only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, drop your location and local time in the comments. I love seeing where you're listening from. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You stand before the Hall of Two Truths, the courtroom where all souls must be judged. It's not exactly like modern court, no overworked public defenders or vending machines. Instead, everything here is ancient, solemn, and very glittery. Gold glints from wall paintings. Statues loom, half lion, half snake, all judging you silently. This is where the scales await. You've heard of the process. Your heart, freshly plucked from your chest like a guilt-filled meatball, will be weighed against the feather of Ma'at, the divine symbol of truth and justice. If your heart is heavier, say burdened with lies, murder, or petty theft of temple grapes, you're toast, or rather, your lunch. For Amit, more on her later. The scales sit at the center, enormous and delicate, carved from celestial bronze with little lotus flowers on each arm. They don't creak, they hum. Behind them stands Anubis, the jackal-headed god of embalming and the afterlife. You'd think a god with a canine face would be more barky, but Anubis is all business. He gestures for you to step forward. There's something clinical in his movements, like he's done this 1,000,000 times and already knows how yours ends. Not exactly reassuring. To your right, the 42 judges of Ma'at murmur softly among themselves, checking their scrolls. Each one represents a different moral concept. I did not steal. I did not lie. I did not raise my voice to my neighbor's goose, that sort of thing. Yes, that last one is real. Ancient Egyptians were very specific about goose etiquette. There's a stone bench for you to wait on. You sit, trying not to look too guilty, like someone in a dentist's office pretending they floss daily. Around you, other souls are mid-judgment. One man argues loudly that he didn't mean to curse the river spirits. Another woman insists her ex was lying about the jewelry theft. Amit, waiting nearby, licks her crocodile lips. She looks very ready for snacks. Now, while you sit, let's talk about how you even ended up here. In ancient Egypt, death wasn't a full stop. It was more like checking into a very exclusive club that just happened to require your body be mummified, your organs pickled, and your tomb stocked with board games and snacks. The whole thing rested on one hope, that you'd pass the judgment and live forever in the field of reeds, a chill, fertile paradise that basically looked like Egypt on a good day, with better irrigation and no taxes. But this judgment part, it's the real gatekeeper. The Hall of Two Truths wasn't just some symbolic place in scrolls. Egyptians believed it was a literal hall in the Duat, the underworld, accessible only to souls that had been properly prepared through funerary rites and equipped with the right spells. They didn't mess around. Rich people paid big bucks to have their own version of the Book of the Dead commissioned, complete with detailed maps, magical passwords, and do not eat this soul notices for hungry demons. And Anubis? He's your escort. Not a god of death, technically, that's Osiris. But Anubis handles the weighing part, which is sort of like being the TSA agent of the afterlife, but more mystical and less grumpy. Historians still argue whether Anubis was ever considered a full-on god of judgment or more of a divine assistant manager. But either way, he's running the scale show. You glance down at your chest, your heart glows faintly, pulsing. It's about to be removed. Not painfully, don't worry, and placed on the scale. Across from it, a single feather. Mahat's feather, light, perfect, annoyingly smug. Maat, by the way, is the goddess of truth, cosmic order, and that thing where all your socks magically stay in pairs. Her feather never lies. Your heart, on the other hand. Bit of a wild card, and here comes the first wild detail. Some tombs actually included fake hearts, backup ones made of stone or wax, just in case the real thing flunked. It's like trying to sneak a fake ID past a divine bouncer. No, no, Officer Anubis, this heart is definitely mine. Never told a fib in its life. Of course, not all scholars agree on whether those hearts were really decoys or just symbolic backups. Some argue they were offerings. Others think they were charms meant to keep the real heart from tattling too much. Anubis leans over you now. You don't feel pain, just a strange pulling sensation, like a memory being unzipped. Your heart floats up, shimmering, and rests gently on one side of the scale. The feather drifts to the other. The whole hall falls silent. The judges lean forward. Even Amit stops chewing on her claw. The scale sways. And you... wait. This is the moment ancient Egyptians obsessed over. This is why they told stories of the afterlife, why they built pyramids and left jars of honey for the journey. All for this second, this balancing act between the truths you lived and the lies you buried. The scale steadies, just a hair's breadth between salvation and snack time.